Hey there, everyone. It's Anthony Rios, the Healing Shaman. I'm the creator of the Rainbow Path community on school. And I wanted to come on and share with you a story about the breaking point for me when I realized I was at the end of my rope and something had to change, right? Something had to give. And those of us who are been on a healing path, a healing journey for any length of time, you know what it's like, or you can always look back and see where the point was that the whole fucking thing just broke apart. And you're like, what the fuck do I do now? So I want to share this with you about that breaking point because, you know, for most of us, it never looks like we expected it to because we don't know what it is, right? We don't know what's happening. It's an amazing thing what spirit, how spirit guides you on your journey. So again, the breaking point, we don't know what's gonna look like. I didn't know what it was gonna look like. A lot of things in the literature and online and courses, people are like, "Oh, you have this catastrophic loss. Oh, you have this sudden breakdown. Oh, something announces itself that you didn't know it was gonna happen, and it hit you like a ton of bricks." Not for me, and not for a lot of people. It was like a slow burn, and it was happening in its own time, and when it did happen, it was one of those things like, "Oh, now what the fuck do I do now?" So, in my 30s, I was about 34, I'll say 34, 35. I was in another career in public health, in advocacy around HIV, and I was in Washington, DC. I wanna say it could have been a Monday or Tuesday, I don't know, it was after work, but nothing extraordinary was going on, really. It was just I went to work, did my thing, came home. There was no crisis going on or any kind of like reason that I can remember that triggered what happened. But I went to work, I had something to eat, and I was going to watch TV, sit on the couch and watch TV like I had done thousands of times before. But something had me just kind of stop. I just stopped and it was quiet. The TV wasn't on. This is before cell phones, by the way. So it was very quiet. And there was nothing traumatic. There wasn't this big, breakdown of crying and boo-hoo and all that. No, it was just I was quiet and it was very still. And it was like I was this machine that going and going and going and going and going. And then all of a sudden just started to turn itself off or slow down, right? And go into neutral instead of being in high gear. And, I sat there for a while and I was not sure what was going on. All I know is that I was quiet. I'm sitting there on the couch. TV's not on. There was no noise. I realized that, man, I'm tired. And then I realized, man, I'm really lonely. And when I said that in my head, I realized that, wow, I really am lonely. I've got this job. I'm working with, a bunch of people who are also very aggressive, committed, forceful in their work. We're all extroverted, people, but I was lonely and it hit me really, really hard. And I realized, what the hell am I doing here? And a friend of mine had visited me. She had told me several months before that, she goes, "What are you doing here?" She could see it. I couldn't see it yet. She could see that I was fucked up, that I was really at a breaking point. She could see it, but I couldn't see it yet. I sat there quietly and I was lonely and I was exhausted. I just kind of let myself feel how tired I was, just tired. I run, you know, I look back now and I say, okay, that was a breaking point. And when they come and they strip away everything. All the structure I had in place of being, you know, a good employee. I performed my job. I had this persona of strength, and he's an extrovert. He's strength and he can carry himself well and he can speak in public and he can get the message across and all this stuff, right? But it was all an act. It was all an act that I had in place for many, many years, right? Around No, everything is good. Everything is fine. Yes, of course I can handle that. Of course I can do that. But on the inside, I was like, one of these days I'm going to trip up and it's going to all be, everyone's going to see the big BS that I am. Right. So, and all of that was about, oh, everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's fine. No problems. All that bullshit. Sitting there quietly, exhausted, lonely, I was like, this question kept coming up. Okay, if you stop pretending that everything is fine, then what? Who are you? If you stop pretending that everything is fine. And I didn't have an answer. I didn't know what the answer was. And that was very scary for me because I was one of those people who had an answer for everything. I knew what I was going to do next. And I knew how this was going to go and how that was going to go. And my life was very predictable. I was predictable, right? As spontaneous as I tried to appear, no, I was very predictable, very predictable. It's awful. So I had built so much of my identity around being this capable person, right? Being needed on that job, being the person who held it all together, right? And helping other people hold their shit together. And I've realized I had no idea what was going on underneath all of that facade, all of that fake me, all of that pretender. And I was so busy managing my life, right? That I didn't realize that I wasn't really living it. I was just managing it. Going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, putting on the show when I got to work, at home, alone, by yourself, by myself, fucking lonely. And it hit me, man, it hit me. It hit me so hard that I was like, who am I? Who am I? And I had no fucking idea. And that was also very frightening because I didn't know. I didn't know who I was. And I'm telling you, it's one of those things where you don't have an answer, right? What do I do now? I was so busy being busy and trying to be an essential part of this work at the time. And that when I saw that realization, it's hard to say grief, but it was grief. It was grief because I realized I was full of shit. I was a pretender and I was not happy. I was lonely. That's the big thing. When I understood and acknowledged to myself how fucking lonely I was, it was like not pretty. The grief about that was, now what do I do? Is it too late? Is it too late to find my way to myself? What does that even mean? I was not involved in anything spiritual at the time. Nothing. I was not involved. I didn't know anything about meditation or visualization or any of that stuff, right? I didn't know I wasn't into shamanism or anything spiritual, right? I had left the Catholic Church about 5 years before, walked away from the church, and here I was. So my whole strategy was just, hey, I got my shit together. I got my job. I can do this. I can do that. It all looks good from the outside. I'm fine until I wasn't. Until I wasn't. Something had reached its limit. I don't even remember if there was something that pushed a button or triggered it or anything like that, but something reached a limit. And that strategy that I had been using my entire life to be useful, to be strong, to all that. But really what it was doing was keeping me small, keeping me safe. And it finally fell apart on a Tuesday or a Monday. I don't know what day it was, but it fell apart, right? I didn't know what to do. I had no idea what to do. What's amazing about this is that it wasn't like a breakdown. It was more what I would like to say is something broke open. I could see something differently. Because I think if I would have had the breakdown, I would have gone into my old patterns of just hiding even further and just smoking a whole lot more weed and staying drunk for a while at night, and medicate and then go to work the next day and pretend everything is okay. No, that's not what happened. It was more of a break, something broke open and I could see myself as I was, and it wasn't pretty, but I could also see that something was calling me to start over again, right? Like a new beginning. It's like something was starting to show me some clarity. And I have words for it now. I didn't have words for it then. But I was being shown something new, something different, a new possibility. And again, these are the words I use now. I didn't have that language back then. So it's almost like these seeds were getting planted. So thank God I didn't have a breakdown and go the other route and just, end up somewhere in obscurity. Really, thank God for that. But it was a break open, right? Something broke open for me, sitting there quietly. And it's like there was something trying to push through, trying to get my attention, in spite of all the pretending, this whole big facade, all this big armor that I had in place was cracking and falling apart all around me. Right. And it did. It fell apart all around me. And I was really left like, what do I do now? What do I do now? Right. And that's where it left me. And I'll pick up on this later. But I just wanted to share this with you because it's something that is important to share with people who have gone through the same thing, where you have this armor, you have this whole facade and this pretend you that has worked for a while until it doesn't. And when it doesn't work and it starts to crack and fall apart, then you're fucked, or you think you're fucked. Now what do we do? So again, I didn't have the language for it. I wasn't doing anything spiritual at the time. So that's where I'm going to leave it. We'll talk more about this because this is all like starting to come out of my head and I'm getting it onto paper, onto digital paper. And so I can talk about it and speak about it in a more powerful way that one continues the healing for me and hopefully can help somebody else who might have gone through the same thing or is at this point in their life and they need to hear it. All right. So that's it. We'll go to the next thing very soon. Again, I'm Anthony Rios, the Healing Shaman, the creator of the Rainbow Path on the school platform. And we'll talk again real soon. If you like this little dialogue here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll go on to the next thing. All right. Thanks very much. Hey, it's Anthony, the Healing Shaman and the creator of the Rainbow Path. And I want to thank you for listening to this conversation. Um, it's a work in progress where I am writing and telling the story about where this whole process of inner healing, spiritual healing started for me in my mid-30s. And so I just appreciate you listening. And if you're interested in more, please check out the Rainbow Path. And I'll put a link in the comments. But really, thank you very much for listening. If this resonates with you and you want some more information, you can always send me a message, make a comment, send me a direct message or something. But I just wanted to say thank you for listening and watching this video, and do share it with people who may need to hear this message. All right. Thanks very much. And there'll be more coming soon.